We are
Alan.
here with another episode of Not Your Heroes podcast. Today's episode is episode 11. The big iron on his hip. Because big iron, big iron on his hip. That stuck in my head, by the way. Just I thought I'd let you know, Jax.
Oh, it should be. It's a very good old-timey song. I'm going to put my phone on mute because I thought I had already.
It's okay. Are you going to keep an eye on the chat for me if anyone's chatting in the chat to let me know?
I shout. It pops up as a thing I can do. But yeah, we in our little world of geekdom, we've had a lot of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, we've had a lot of going on today. It is gonna be a the Fallout show is a the Fallout show was just beautiful. I absolutely loved last week's episode. So before we get to this week's episode, the finale, let's just discuss last week's episode. We got to see, someone fighting a death. We got to, we got Maximus, the Ghoul, and Thaddeus all teaming up.
Yes.
We got. I'm sorry, I've got a bit of a cough.
Well,
I'm dying.
We did get to quite an interesting point coming up to that point. So you've had Thaddeus basically start a
Jax,
civil
I'm going to
war.
advise you. I think whenever you talk too fast, your microphone starts going to a robot, and you just start losing, all traction.
Okay.
You might want to slow
I will
down.
try to be less excitable.
It could be a bit more excitable than that. just yeah.
So yeah, when so a civil war has started out amongst the Brotherhood.
Oh yeah.
Which has now left the our lovely little heroes and lovely hero and weird little mutant man alone in the desert.
I love Thaddeus is the best.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be interesting to see what he turns into. We've got bets.
Centaur.
Yeah, I think he's turning into something like Harold.
You say Harold, I say Centaur. The reason I say Centaur is because the way he's got the mouth growing on his
roboted out.
The mouth growing on his shoulder. Or am I going roboty now? So the reason I say Centaur is because the mouth growing on his shoulder, all right?
Yeah.
And like the Fallout New Vegas Centaurs, that some of them are only made of one person, not multiple animals. His arms fell off and stuff and meet at the same spot, and it's like
I thought that was funny.
I love that bit. All right, I'll help with the sniper rifle. This just happens to us all the time, right? No, it doesn't. Thaddeus, you're not turning into a ghoul. You're turning into something else.
Yeah, that was funny. It's when he shows the mouth on his arm, side of his arm, it's a ghoul thing, and it was like the ghoul's just like no,
no, it's not.
He doesn't say it, just the look.
It's just the look he keeps giving him.
The big thing is with the cowboy again, the ghoul.
Well, Walton Goggins is brutal.
Walton Goggins is fantastic in everything he does, but he's really good in this. And he's got some funny freaking lines in this as well. And some meta points. But he, he basically has found a way now that he can save his kid and do a good thing, sort of. But they still need to level up, which is something that we noticed when they had to fight the Death Floor last time. I was like, oh shit, they are underpowered for this fight. So now they've all leveled up and they're ready. And by this, it means we've now got NCR power armor in play.
The reveal of that in this episode was beautiful, though, at the start of it.
The music, everything.
It's fun that it starts playing the NCR theme as well. When it does it, it's like, oh, this is beautiful. It's like, okay, and then he gives, and then he hands the ghoul makes him the deal of, I'll give you the armor if you give me I'll help you with the armor. You can have the armor, but I need payment, and gives the ghoul the cold fusion device.
So now, what is really interesting here
is what happens later.
And
But
no, but in this moment in time, and I know a lot of people. I noticed this, but also I know loads of other people have noticed now 'cause it's everywhere. But when they do that deal, um, Tadia says, we always go back to where we start. Well, if you remember, one of the first times we see him when he's as a young boy,
what do you mean,
you've
what
got
we
the
see
NCR.
Maximus? Yeah, I know, because he's an
But
NCR kid.
yeah, and the NCR are walking past him, all in their armor and shit, and then he's now looking at power armor. We then later on get that scene where he's not got the armor on. He's like literally he's fucked. He's might as well be a kid, and then all of a sudden they all come in their armor.
Well,
So
no,
like
that's the
literally
episode
he's
after.
back
So
to
you're
where
skipping ahead, Jax, to the next
I know,
episode.
but like what I mean is like there is that element of we're back to where we started, but also Walter Goggins, the Ghoul, has got the fusion core back.
Yeah,
Um,
which
you
it
know,
turns
he's,
out
he's literally
in
back
the
to where he started.
yeah, which it turns out in the last episode he gave to the president.
Now, as I was saying, I was literally saying and got cut off because we started this scene there with the fact that he gives it to the president is a massive, massive thing in
Mm-hmm.
for some of us that are into all outlaw because the whereabouts of the president of the United States for like 3 months before the bombs fell is completely unknown. In the show, it's even mentioned, but in the game, it's mentioned. You know, he is gone. No, he's with the Enclave as a player, but in that universe, no one knows, and there's very little we actually know.
Mm-hmm.
But we can lock him down to a place. He was in Vegas at this point in time, just before the bombs fell, or a point, but or at least a few bit
Mm-hmm.
between the points of him going missing,
Yeah. Well,
at least.
the best, the what not the best, but the thing about this entire scene, then we get the bit after this where Maximus is in the power armor, walking down the street, and
Yeah,
and it's just like that theme playing and that bit where he's just walking, and then next thing you're just hearing, "Hail, long live the NCR." New California Republic is like it's the fact that the New California Republic is the one was the hero of like New Vegas essentially. They were the kind of good guys that liked the Freesiders liked, and it's like this is brilliant. This is it's like this is very much, and then we get a little bit of a cut to um during this episode. This episode we get a cut to it.
One
Of
thing I'd like to say quickly on just to go off the point of they're walking down the street is there's a lovely little scene where the people, like you say, they're walking saying, yeah, the NCR, and some of them bow down and like curtsy and stuff like that. And it goes to Titus, and he's like he's in the costume and he's smiling. He's like a bit of a smile to himself and what's going on,
mm-hmm.
which is something you really don't see. You didn't see much of him in his armor.
Yeah.
That didn't like the one time he did was when he was with the other guy from the Brotherhood, and then it turned out, oh no, he's going to kill kids. It's like, he never got that good feeling.
No, he never got that good feeling
when he
of
was
being a
in that armor
hero until that point, until
that moment, and
it's like
and that's the change. I think that's a bit of a change. It's also a point.
Jax has turned to a robot, but yes, it's a bit of a change. No, it's not you going too fast. I think it's just your internet doing its usual crappy out thing on this time.
I think it's just our connection in general is not too good.
Probably not today. Today's a day of but yeah, it is Jack. It is honestly just it's like seeing Maximus getting like genuinely happy and excited over the fact that he's in that armor, and that he's that then the people being like cheering for the NCR and everything, and it's like, and then we get to the bit where they get to the gate, where they're about to go in to go deal with the death claws, and the ghouls tell him to keep them off him, and then Thaddeus' arm just falls off. It's just like, and it's so funny because he's just like, this is the ghoul thing, right? No, it's not a ghoul thing. This is not a ghoul thing, Thaddeus. Why that? This is not a ghoul thing. You are not turning into a ghoul. You are going to become something else, and it's going to be horrifying and horrific. And and I feel bad because you're like such a genuinely nice person. Like he's genuinely such a good guy, and it's like I feel sorry for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, also, with him as well, it's so like in the previous scene when they were talking about selling in the previous episode, when they talk about selling the power core, and he's like, "Well, if we sell it and had all that money, do you know how much good we could do? We could be the good people that we kept talking about being." Um, and so that, there's the crooked way of being good,
I
but
know
from this point
he's
on, if you
hilarious.
actually watch, he actually does good thing. He tries to navigate good
Yeah,
because he's got a lot of cash in him right now. And there's a scene in it. I think it's in the episode. I
it's in
can't
the
remember if it's this episode or the
finale bit
episode.
when it's in the
Yeah,
because
we'll
after
go
this
into it
bit,
then.
after this bit, they go into the gate and you've got Maximus versus the Deathclaw, and that fight, the first Deathclaw fight, is so beautiful. Of him just chopping its head off, it's just like this full-on out fight. And also, did you know they kept the thing in the game where headshots don't do extra damage on Deathclaws, body shots do?
Hmm.
I because the ghoul was not aiming at the head, he was aiming at the body on purpose. Because even he knows you don't aim for the head on a Deathclaw. They actually kept the
But
game
it's
mechanic part of Deathclaws are weaker in the body than they are in the head.
very good.
Also, he had a ghost rifle. He had the ghost rifle, which is an end game weapon. And I'm like, yeah, my represent. This is how you hunt Deathclaws. You don't take a weak ass weapon. You take a ghost
Yeah, yeah.
rifle.
Well, that's the other thing. And I mean, that leads into something that happens later on, which is when one of the monsters gets too close to him.
Yeah.
Um, and you can see the fear in his eyes.
Yeah, he's like, oh god, the devil in the snow. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. And then it gets its head cut off by Maximus, and it's Maximus is fighting them outside, and then he goes into the Lucky 38, and as we see Maximus fighting them outside, he's having his fight because it's towards the end of the episode. We've forgotten all the Lucy subplot where Lucy's basically trying to take her dad in, and then you know her dad is basically tricking her with the two people that were fighting and everything. That previously she's now meeting him downstairs at the door to the mainframe, and then she's having dinner with her dad, and then realizes in the end that he's a liar and he's that no, I can't be I can't do this. I have to go and fix this. So she cuffs him to the oven as she then escapes to go to the mainframe, and as she opens the mainframe, finding we get that little scene where it shows Cooper the ghoul handing the president the cold fusion device with that senator that we saw earlier, the really nice, lovely senator, and then the reveal that her head is the mainframe. It's like, oh, that poor chick. That poor senator became the mainframe at the end of the episode. At the end of that, and then we get the bit with Maximus going back to the fight with Maximus and the Deathclaws, where Maximus just gets thrown through the gate, and the Deathclaws are loose at the end of the episode. And as we get, what is it? The ghoul puts the platinum chip. Not
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
puts the no, sorry, not the platinum chip. Puts the cold fusion device in the power generator in Harris's in the Lucky 38, and then we get one of the scenes that I think most New Vegas fans probably were incredibly happy at this bit of as the
Yeah,
machine as it boots up and just all of the words. Well, hello, chap. The house always wins.
House.
House
So
is back.
the reveal of House was very interesting. Now, I don't know. I think I might have missed something that you did because you said it explains how he can be there.
It's the bit. It's the
Um,
lines that start with basically his body was basically beaten to death. He's not alive anymore. That is House. House is on the computer.
it is a fully hard drive. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Yeah, I did get
He
that
basically
bit.
mentions the fact
Um,
that he mentions that he got his body basically was shot, stabbed, beat to death with a crowbar and a golf club and shit. It's like I love this. I love that
well,
scene.
yeah, he basically mentioned every possible way of killing him
Yeah, New
in
Vegas.
Fallout New Vegas.
It's just like I love it. It's such a brilliant little callback to New Vegas of here's how you can kill a house. By the way, there is an achievement for killing a house with a golf club. By the way, be called
Is
A
there?
Man Chooses. Can you
Okay, I didn't know that.
guess what game came out 2 years before Fallout New Vegas?
What's
Eh,
that?
Bioshock. What do you beat Andrew Ryan to death with?
Oh yeah, very funny. Yeah,
They made
okay.
the nice little reference to how you kill Andrew Ryan with an achievement in New Vegas back on the
Would
Xbox.
you kind? That was. I've got to say, I know we're talking about something else now, but that is what I remember playing that game the first time when it first came out.
That
I was intrigued by it. I had it on a console, and
I
I
the
binged that game. I took a
it
week
was
off
so
sick.
good, and that twist when you finally get revealed that the words "would you kindly" have been telling,
Would
triggering you the
Would you
entire.
kindly was genius,
It was so good because you never think about
genius.
it. It's just like, oh, this guy's just being nice and asking me to do this. He's not telling me to do it. It's just
But
being nice. And then
for,
when you finally
for
realize,
me,
when you get to that bit where you realize, oh shit.
well, for me, the reveal was fantastic because this is why I was already getting into that stage where I was finding games quite linear. You know, like you go to a place and a mission, you get a mission, do a mission. I was like, yeah, and other than the story, it's like, yeah, great, like we're doing this. And and this game had intrigued me for other reasons. The story really wasn't the main thing that intrigued me. The fact that you could set traps in one map, go do things in another map, come back, and those traps have activated and done shit. Well, I loved that. That's what I loved. And some of the mixing and matching you could do with weaponry and the plasmids. But when you got that "would you kindly" moment,
Would you
it
kindly go get
blew
stepped on
my
by a big
mind
daddy?
because that then for me that was like the best thing you could have in a video game because yeah, the reason you was doing these missions wasn't just because it's the game, it's the story. You had to. Um, like, would you kindly? It was you're being mind fucked. It was, and I was just like, that for me was the best piece of storytelling and urgency for a video game ever. Why am I doing this? Not just to play a game and have fun and shoot things. Actually, it's because the character I'm playing is being mind controlled. He's being controlled. He's being played. He's literally being played by someone else. Clap, clap, clap.
Oh yeah,
In
it
my
is.
opinion,
It was
fantastic.
so, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry.
Bioshock
Back to
was one of
Fallout.
those games that is. It is a. It's one of those games I think could do well as a TV show, just like Fallout has. I think it's one of those shows that could.
So I do know. I know full well that that has tried to come up multiple times with artwork. One of them has been with Prime. They've had people involved. For some reason, always falls apart. Well, it's not even for some reason. It is the money.
Mhm.
These shows are incredibly, incredibly expensive to make. So once you've got props and stuff that you can do physically, that's fine. But like a great example of this is what we saw in the final episode of the use of the battle armor with the weaponry systems that we'll talk about later.
Mhm.
That
That.
had to be, they showed it all breaking down for a reason.
Oh,
They
we know
don't
they
have the
showed it breaking.
budget to do it alone.
Well, that and also it is the most. It is, let's be honest, the most in-universe thing that happens to power armor. It just breaks randomly.
It's true.
It's just like ah
That is
crap.
true. But like, but that is the out and out reason. Now with a game like Bioshock, where it's set,
Underwater.
well, pick your choice. It's either set in a wonderful, amazing underwater place where you can see the oceans around you and weird shit's going on constantly, and you've got big daddies and little sisters running around doing
Or it's
crazy
set in a
shit and all
space
these magical
station
powers.
with an evil AI, because everyone now
Or
forgets that a certain system, the actual series isn't Bio, it's Shock, because the ending of Infinite essentially linked all three games together in the sense of there's always a city, there's always a guy, there's always the girl.
yeah, but we also then got what's his name? Uh, yeah, that was Revenant. What one was that? What was the? I can't remember the name of the one that was in the sky.
Bioshock Infinite.
Um,
That's the one that links all three of
Infinite.
them
Yeah,
together. It
that's the one that
links.
links. Yeah, all the universes.
It basically links System Shock to Bioshock as well by
Yeah,
going, this is the formula for these games. This
yeah,
is the
and
formula.
it's and like I say, it's the thing. It's the that any one of those universes is so much more. expensive to create than
Mhm.
a Wasteland.
Oh yeah, but it is something that they could either give it the live action treatment or give it the Arcane slash Dota
I
Dragon Blood
think
treatment instead.
yes, I think it should be animated. I think it should be given a live action budget and animated.
Hmm.
That would mean they can get a lot more done. And I definitely think Bioshock would make its money back, and I think it would make its money back not from fans, but from people that don't know what it is being pulled into that weird storytelling.
About video game adaptations, like good adaptations for video
Yeah,
games, I think you'll agree with me. The Fallout TV series, Arcane, Dota Dragon Blood, because actually Dota Dragon Blood, I really really enjoyed watching that. The Dragon Age one, the animated Dragon Age movies, and the Sonic films. The Sonic
I
films
yeah,
are, in my opinion, um, they shouldn't have worked because they're a movie, and video game movies, generally, every video game movie, apart from, in my opinion, those three films, is terrible. The only Street Fighter is so bad it's good, if you get what I mean. It's like it's such a terrible film, but you watch
yeah.
it because it's just so bad that you want to watch it. If that makes
You,
sense.
you, you watch it for Raul Julia alone.
Yeah, you watch it for Raul Julia. You watch it for you watch it for the day for you. The day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. For me, it was
Me.
Tuesday. It's just the best response in any movie. And I'm like, I love you, Raul Julia. It is a shame that you died straight after this movie, so we never got any more Adams Family films from
Yeah,
you.
he was very ill,
Yeah,
but he just did it. It was a film he did for his kids, and it's
yeah. I'm sorry, but I still can't believe they cast Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile. That's still the funniest thing to me.
so. Here's the thing. This was so. I mean, there is a very logical reason for that.
But I,
This was going to be the most expensive martial arts film
mhm.
made.
But I
Yeah,
will
like,
say
this was
one
a
other thing about it
big
is,
property.
as bad as the Street Fighter movie is, let's be absolutely honest, the appearance of every character that shows up in it from the games is spot on. If you actually look at them all, they are all,
Well,
apart from John Claude Van Damme's Guile, pretty much every other character that shows up wearing the costumes from the games and looks somewhat like the game character. Even
Blanca is a little bit funky.
well, yeah, but
Um,
it's hard. Yeah, but it's product of the time of trying to do Blanca. Let's be honest.
Dulcim is a bit weird.
I can't remember if Dawson was even appeared in it.
Yes, he did. So Dulcim actually was the Indian scientist. At the very end, he pulls his jacket off and he's shirtless. He's like white lab coat off and he's shirtless, and he goes into the fighting stance. But that's all you get, really.
E Honda was hilarious.
The Honda was good.
Cammy was wearing the Cammy's outfit. She was straight up just Cammy just in that film. I forgot who
Yeah,
played her. Chun Li was
seriously.
Chun Li. Chun Li.
Sorry, one sec. So you forgot who played her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow your fucking mind.
Why are you
It
gonna
was Kylie Minogue.
How did I forget it was Kylie Minogue that played Cammy? I don't believe you.
Kylie fucking Minogue.
Oh yeah, it was Kylie fucking Minogue. What the fuck? It's Kylie Minogue. What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah.
realize it was Kylie Minogue. It's just Cammy to me.
Helen Daniel from Neighbours.
Or Astrid from
Danny Minogue's older sister.
or Astrid from Voyage of the Damned.
Astrid from Voyage of the yeah, because that's the important role.
The most
Because that's the
important role.
important role.
She's in Doctor Who.
That's the one sorry, yeah, her role in Doctor Who almost 15 years later is definitely what got her the role in a massive Hollywood blockbuster.
Flop.
Everything. It doesn't matter. There were
I love
actors
it.
in this.
I
Right?
know.
There were actors in this. So there's one guy in particular who plays the third in charge. He's this an Asian dude that you'll see in it for like 30 seconds. He's like one of the biggest performers, movie performers in Japan. Like he is the guy.
I'm sorry,
He is
Mulan
their
was
Tom
in it.
Cruise. Yeah,
Mulan was Chun Li.
Lee.
Oh, I love it. I'm just reading who was in it. Shame, Pat. Rest in peace, Raoul.
Oh,
Byron Mann was in it as well. Jesus Christ, it's
yeah,
Ryu.
yeah. They paid money.
I
These
did.
actors weren't small actors. Like I say, the guy who played the second judge. He had in the Japanese version. I think it's a Japanese version. Not only has his own character in the game, like all of the movie tie-in stuff over there, all of the adverts was like around his character, and he's in it for like about 30 seconds in total and one fight
God
because the
damn it,
big
how many?
draw was. Who else did you get for a martial arts film? There was no other big Hollywood martial artists other than Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme, and no one wanted Steven Seagal.
I still found it funny that apparently some of Jean-Claude Van Damme's worst films, apparently he was trolled by Arnold Schwarzenegger into taking the role.
I've heard this.
And I'm like,
I've heard this
uh,
from a couple big actors.
I'm like, if that's true, it's
Yes.
kind of hilarious that Arnie just keeps trolling Jean-Claude Van Damme and he kept falling for it. It's just like,
So there was one Christmas where both Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger had TikToks, and they were answering questions. And I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger telling that story, and someone asking, and Sylvester Stallone was mentioned in the story, and someone then asked the same question as Sylvester Stallone, and he absolutely corroborated it. Was like, yeah, he would literally just make it sound like it's the best movie ever. That he'd wished he'd go for it, but he couldn't. Or he was going to go for it, but he was worried someone with a bit more fighting skill would get it, and all of a sudden it would be I'm Cop with John Claude Van Damme. Like, I knew I wasn't going to go for that film.
they're probably both friends as well after. It's like um, the Rock and Kevin Hart's friendship probably of just I would troll the shit out of you constantly because
Yeah.
we're both from European countries. We're gonna just troll the shit out of each other. You're Belgium and
Well, I don't. It's interesting. I actually don't know so much about how much of friendships. I know Stallone and Schwarzenegger do share a friendship, but I don't know about. I've never really heard anything about Van Damme and Schwarzenegger. To be honest,
I will say
interesting.
John Claude Van Damme and Arnie are the two that I actually genuinely enjoy seeing in things again.
Yes,
Because
it is.
I just like really old, seeing those old actors back in films because it's just like it's. I don't give a shit if they're not amazing, they're not they're like these films they're in a cheesy. I just enjoy seeing them in these, seeing like
But
actors that I watched.
what's quite funny is that I mean Arnold Schwarzenegger did start this trend off before anyone else, but um, because these guys always seem to always be so super serious, they have to be the hardcore hero. And the movie that for me, I mean, because Arnold Schwarzenegger did start doing comedy quite early on,
Hmm.
but he never took the piss out of himself um, to any extent in the comedy. But then there was the movie Around the World in 80 Days with Jackie Chan and um, oh, he plays Alan Partridge, Steve Coogan. Um, and Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Genghis Khan, and he's sitting there in the big hot tub with the cigar, and he's just basically playing Arnold Schwarzenegger in Genghis Khan's hat in the hot tub. Um, and yeah, like he was taking the piss out of himself a bit, and then all of a sudden, it seems to be okay for these guys to actually laugh at themselves and who they are. And Arnold Schwarzenegger did that a bit more, you know. And then all of a sudden, you've got that film. Especially for Van Damme, which was I think
Well,
for
it's
him was
like
the thing that
have
got
you
him
seen
back with
Secret Level?
JVC. Yes.
The Arnie episode with in that, and I absolutely loved that episode. And it's the fact that he is in his own words, he's basically just playing Conan. He's playing a parody of his own Conan character, just like I am Conan. He's basically Conan. I am the king, endlessly failing to conquer the island.
The
Brilliant.
that is a sad thing. I've got to say, I love the Conan movies for what they are, um, because they're not the best, and it's not his fault. But he would have been the best Conan back in the day. I mean, he looked awesome in those films.
He is the iconic
He
Conan.
looked
Unfortunately, as much
amazing.
as I like the remake with um,
Jason
Jason
Momoa.
Jason Momoa,
Oh,
it's not as good as the original, and you will never convince me it is,
I
because
mean, the first two films, Barbarian and Conquer, they're of their they were bad at their time, to be honest. They they have images that look great. The films aren't good. But he Arnie looked the part. He just looked the part. The thing that a lot of people forget as well, though, is just how stupid the voice of fucking Darth Vader looks as the villain. James
But
Earl Jones as the fucking villain. In one of those, in his serpent headdress,
so
is fucking ridiculous.
have you seen the trailer for a certain movie that I am kind of
I just
hesitant
don't want the
about,
movie.
but I want it to be good. I want it to be cheesy as shit, but I'm kind of hesitant about it.
What film are you talking about?
Masters of the Universe.
Oh, I am. Look, from what I've seen so far, and
I'm
from the
only
way that they've
hesitant
got that,
because they've shown Skeletor, who's played by Jared Leto, and the only thing he's done in the entire trailer was growl, and I'm like, please, please tell me that Jared Leto has done a stupid voice for this character. I do not care how bad this film is. I just want it to be cheesy because they've already clearly they're going cheesy for this film, and it has to be cheesy because it's He-Man.
is here's the thing. One of the best things about the original Masters of the Universe film was the actor they got to play Skeletor, because he, as he said, I think it was really. I think it was. I want to say it's Jeremy Irons, but I could easily be wrong. Um,
It was Jeremy Irons.
yeah, it was like he just went full ham. I mean, he didn't go Skeletor from the animated series, but he went full ham in that,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's what you need. You need camp comedy.
it is. It's He-Man, for Christ's sake. Main character's literal name is Man Man.
Man, yeah,
He's Man Man. He's the Man Man because he's most manliest of mans. And I'm sorry, but nothing in this universe will ever be as funny as He-Man because He-Man has always been. Yes, it is. Excuse me. It is. We'll fully admit cheesy, silly, but it's He-Man, and
yeah, yeah. I mean, so look, we've had a really, really good, really, really dark universe. He-Man, Masters of the Universe,
yeah.
with what Kevin Smith did, and
Well,
that was great.
it wasn't
I
even that
loved it.
dark. It was the Kevin Smith one.
Oh,
It was the Kevin Smith Revelations one was a bit dark, but also we're going to keep having flashbacks back to the original cartoon scenes, just remade with the new actors,
yeah,
where it's as cheesy as shit as it was originally.
cool. Yeah, yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Miss
But
K.
but what we need now, I
It's
think,
cheesy
is just a proper bit of
cheese.
nostalgia cheese. And here's my problem: Jared Leto. He's not very funny. I mean, you can laugh at him. He's not the funniest.
No,
In fact, he's got one acting style: staring intently.
and they're yeah.
Um,
It's the only thing I'm worried about with this movie is that they cast Jared Leto as Skeletor, and my response to that is, I
but
feel like you
that,
want it to flop, and I'm
that
like,
is that is a legitimate concern in a film. See, in
no, no,
many
no, no,
parts of
Jack.
Hollywood,
The legitimate
you
concern
see a
is just
name.
Jared Leto existing in a movie.
That's exactly that's what I'm saying. It's like in Hollywood, there is this thing that actor sells a movie. Tom Cruise, Tom
It's not about his face.
Holland.
It's not about it's not about
But
his
in this
face,
case,
Miss Cat. It's straight up. That man is a death sentence for most movies. Every film he has starred in is basically been dead on arrival.
he had
Since
so much. He was one of these actors that had so much premise in his younger days, and he was like, "Oh, he's going to do so much. He's got this broody act." What we didn't realize is that's the only act he had.
yeah,
And
he should have stuck to music.
yeah, he no, he should stick to contemplating poetry. That's it. But I don't know what it is. He's like,
Yeah, he's the death sentence of a film. If you see,
really is.
and it's like
How many great
worried.
characters? Like,
I just want this film
here's
to
the
be
thing.
silly.
I watched Tron Ares recently, and because I'm a massive fan of the original. I kind of like the second, but it does annoy me for so many reasons. There was a animated series, very very good. I like the animated series. Animated series, very much recommended. And I was like, you know what? Nothing can really be as bad as the second film because I had so much hype within myself for the second film. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I was expecting to have my mind blown, and it wasn't. Um,
Tron.
and then Tron, yeah. And then when I saw, so I was expecting terrible, terrible things from Tron Ares because it had Jared Leto in it. And
Apparently, it's okay. It's just not. It's nowhere near as good as the last two films.
you know, here's the problem. It is actually quite good. It is quite an entertaining film. But Jared Leto is such an anchor in this film and in it so much during the second and third act
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, here's the thing. He is kind of perfect for this role in the same way as Arnold Schwarzenegger in his early days was perfect for the Terminator. As a program, he shows no goddamn emotion. He is blank. He is a slate.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird. Even when he gets emotional over seeing rain for the first time, because that's the thing he really wants to experience is rain in the real world. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's like
It's like a robot experience
clicking.
emotion.
No, it's not even that. It's best way to describe it is if you ever seen the Final Fantasy movie,
Yeah.
the actual proper movie that came out,
Do you mean the spirits
and
within?
they had spirits within, and they're really trying to give emotion to that
You mean
super
the
high
movie that gives
quality
me uncanny
animation.
valley when I watch it because it's so
Yeah,
fucking terrifying. It's a good film. Like the
yeah.
plot is genuinely amazing and pretty. It's a really good story. But the CGI, the way they animated the characters is just terrifying.
It's really weird. So this was the most this was such a thing. Final
Yeah.
Fantasy was the biggest gaming thing in the world. People, some people forget how big this was. Um,
Well, what do you mean was? It still
the
is.
no, I mean it lost its shine because at this point in time, it
Carefully,
was
you don't know Angus, one of our viewers.
I am a massive fan of Final Fantasy. I have figures. I will if you want me to prove my geekdom, I will show you pictures of things that will make you drool. I have old school original statues. Um, anyway, but that be aside. Um, at the time they were the biggest. Like they were having fashion deals in Japan with the biggest fashion lines in the world just to cross over to have animated images of their characters like Cloud and Tifa wearing Armani and shit. So this was big. They were huge, and there was enough money there for Square Soft. Like they were going to make a movie. They were going to make the biggest movie in the world using this tie-in. It couldn't out, and they put the biggest programmers, the biggest designers, biggest everything to make the most beautiful, most realistic, most superhuman CGI movie ever created. And some of it is the most beautiful stuff you've ever seen in your life. Some of the stuff they gave you for free at the cinema. I've got these data sheets, these plastic see-through data sheets of all the characters that
You
are
know, I've
meant
realised
to
we've
look.
gone on a complete. Oh, we gone on a
I
tangent
know,
about video game movies, and then now and then we've ended up on Jared Leto and that Mass Universe, and then we've ended up on Spirits, Final Fantasy
Uncanny
Spirits
Valley.
Within. Despite
But
the fact that our original topic was we were literally discussing the ending of the seventh episode.
I can easily get us back around to that because
Uh huh.
what happened here was the film cost so much money and made so little that Squaresoft went bust and had to literally got bought out by another company. So the company became Square in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And the
and
rest is history.
the rest is kind of history. In the same fact that Interplay lost a big shit ton of money on a massive boondoggle idea that was never going to fully get completed, and then got bought out by Bethesda to give us
Fallout.
Fallout.
Because Van Buren got cancelled for got cancelled. I still am sad that Fallout Tactics never got its sequel because of fucking, and it's all
So
because of Brotherhood of fucking Steel.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. So a couple of things that we know of, and we discussed this yesterday as well. So where they're going to now,
Uh huh.
as in the hint at the end of the show,
Yes.
is in would be to when
to where
Fallout
Fallout Tactics its
Tactics
final
was.
finale takes place.
I
I
think we'd
completely
be
forgot
getting.
about that. Tactics'
Yeah.
finale takes place in Colorado, because
So technically, you'd be. Yeah, Karen.
that's where the Master Vault is, the vault that controls all of them.
Yes, Vault Zero. Yeah, right. So here's the thing. So that's where you technically get your sequel to whatever's going on in the show there.
Mhm.
But to get to Colorado, you have to pass through Utah,
Mhm.
and Utah, as we were talking yesterday, was where Van Buren was going to be based.
Yep.
I'm wondering if not only are we going to get the Van Buren story in the series, but we're also going to get, or a hint of it, but we're also going to get a sequel to Tactics by the time we get to the end of the season.
I just really want to see the Tactics Brotherhood back. I would love the idea of the Brotherhood from Tactics to be, the one that adopts not only humans, wastelanders, but like the one that actually had ghouls in their ranks and super mutants in their ranks and shit. Like they were the Brotherhood that were. We learned that the wasteland provides proper soldiers instead of like the Brotherhood we have now, where abominations and this. Like they were the embrace. They embraced everyone. It's like, yeah, everyone joins us because we need all of them.
And weirdly, that would be the perfect group for Titus to join.
Maximus. You keep calling him Titus. Titus was the guy who stole the first armor off.
I thought that was the other way around.
No, he stole the armor off Titus because Titus was the Titus. He was Titus's squire initially,
That's right.
but sorry, I'm just dying again. But yeah, the ending of episode 7, as a New Vegas fan, made me so happy and so fucking excited for episode 8, because that's just that simple, just the simple words of, well, hello there, old chum, and seeing, House's face back on, like, on the screen was just absolutely, like, beautiful to me.
Mhm.
It was just, this is what I wanted. This is all I wanted. This is what I wanted when you went to New Vegas. I was wanting to know what happened to House, and it's like, nope, House is alive. But as we could probably establish, is most likely now digital, because even if you don't pay attention, if you pay attention in the last episode, when he's speaking with Cooper, Cooper's having the discussion with him. Cooper puts the gun to, the fusion core, and you notice that what he says about it, by the way, that would affect life on other planets,
Yeah.
because no
But
one knows what will happen if the cold fusion explodes. Meaning, oh god,
yeah, the idea is the explosion would be so big it would rip the Earth apart.
yeah,
Yeah.
like oh god, but it's like, I'll leave you with your fusion thing if you help find my family. It's like, I love the bargaining. The fact that first thing House basically says is, "I've been my body was a bit of a trek for wastelanders over the years. It's been shot, stabbed, hit with a crowbar." It's like, did you just start listing off the ways we killed you in New Vegas, because we may or may not have beat you to death with a crowbar? Because I didn't beat you to death with a crowbar. I swear, House. But
Um,
yes, they were a perfect actor to play House. But
Very good. But do you know what nickname people have been giving the fake house now?
what?
Of apartments. And I love it.
It's brilliant. But yeah, the whole House being alive bit was made me so happy, because it's like, and it's also established enough that it does actually not give you an ending to New Vegas, because it points out that you could have killed House in New Vegas, but he survived as a digital clone, or House's body is still alive. He's just, or House, the one that was being shot was the other apartments. You know what I mean? Was the decoy, while the real House has been hidden somewhere else. Um,
Well, I think what we can assume is that he had the chip. He
yeah,
gets the chip, but his body gets destroyed, so his mind is on the digital plane only.
yeah. The other
That's
thing
why
is, it could
when
be is that's Yes Man, not House. Because the like thing that happens to Yes Man is he merges his, in the ending of it, the full ending is he merges his code with House and basically becomes a digital version of Mr. House. So it could be that that's just Yes Man's, fully merged with House's code.
I would have gone with that, except for the fact he seemed to still have all the
Oh
knowledge
yeah,
of
before.
Cooper.
I did love, but the reason that makes me think it is a digital one is because we
It's
then
the end for me
it is
when
the
because
end.
he transfers himself over to the Pit Boy,
Yeah,
and then he hides himself behind the um, signal not working screen when Lucy turns up.
uh, but yeah, that bit is. But I love. We get back to the Lucy storyline. We get Lucy basically took the head, and the head basically telling her to kill it, and she's just like, "Why does everyone want me to kill them?" And I love it. It's just her breaking down to it, and going, "Why does everyone want me to kill them in this wasteland?" She's done with this wasteland. She's done with it. She's like, I hate this. This is stupid. I hate everything about it. But then we get the bit where she does that. She's walking out. Hank confronts her, and we then reveals. By the way, I think that's going to be a big plot point in the next season and in the possibly Fallout 5. That bit that he reveals, the whole, the new chip, the smaller one, those have
But
already been started being mass produced, and we don't know who and who doesn't have a chip, and they're already carrying out their orders. What are their
hmm
what the hell are and the big the bit that reveals the big bad of
yeah,
the big bad and the fact that the reason I think you understand why the big bad being revealed of who it is makes me so happy because we finally have the actual big bad of the Fallout series back. The one that's been the big bad since the first fucking game. And we thought we'd wiped out finally in the third game. Are like, nope, you didn't do shit to them. You just wiped out a subsector of them. It's like, oh no, the Enclave is back because they are the big bad of of both of Fallout 2, Fallout, and they appear in Fallout 1 and 2. They are like the big bad of the series itself, if you know what I mean. Like, and it's brilliant. I'm happy to see the fact that the big bad of the actual series itself is back. We have the Enclave finally. We don't have um and yeah, genuinely like the whole Hank bit and Lucy bit where and then we cut to Titus fight I'm calling him Titus now. Titus is from fucking Final Fantasy Jacks. I'm blaming you. Um, we cut back to Maximus fighting the Deathclaws, and it's just like that bit first reveal where he's like the Deathclaws trying to fight him, and then the missiles open up and he just blows one of them up. It's like oh god damn it, this armor has guns. And then does the Iron Man jump in the air with the rocket launcher to the face on the second one, and him just fighting those Deathclaws and all the townsfolk just taking bets on whether he's going to win.
yeah. So
I
this
love
becomes
that.
my favorite thing. This is my point about that guy, by the way. The like trying to use the money for good. 'Cause he's like, well, no, I'm betting all my money on Maximus, my friend. He's the good guy. He's going to win because he's a good guy, and that's why I'm betting on him. And then all the way through, even when he proves the money, he's like, you ain't got the money to that. He proves it. It's like you can see the people are starting to change. Um, and this is actually then something that confused me because towards the end of this, I know we're getting towards the end of this bit, and I'll probably jump in a bit, but they all call out, "Let's get our armor and our gear together, like to go out and fight." And then that's when the NCR appear. Um,
Oh yeah.
I thought those those NCR that turned up being led by that woman are the ones that she called after the end of the episode when they took out um
Ow.
the Kaiser's Empire. I'm a bit confused. What weapons they are they the NCR people as well, or
Did you not pay attention when the ghoul first spoke to them? The battalion's just over the ridge. We just can't reach them. It's not only a line from Fallout New Vegas when they're talking
uh,
about reinforcements, just on the. It actually was a fact that there was a reinforcement army of NCR on its way still, which
uh.
make marching over. But it is.
Oh, so no, shit. I assumed that the ones that were with her then, it's like when they mentioned it's like all our people are still around. They're just scattered and hidden. So I thought she put a call out and got all the ones from that original group back together because like from her little group.
No, they kept
And that's
mentioning
who
they
these
kept
people were.
mentioning there's a battalion. The battalion will be here. The
Oh.
reinforcement will be here any day. They were basically it was a self-fulfilling prophecy of the reinforcements arrived, but also that fight with Maximus versus Deathclaw just like, and then when he's finally like the armor is basically about to be broken, and he gets out, and Thaddeus is like, "What the hell are you doing?" And it's like, and I love that he picks up a roulette wheel and a pool cue, the two most ineffective weapons you can pick up in any situation in Fallout. Not even.
Pretty much.
It's just
That was not going to help. That was really not going to help.
no, but it's like you know what? Effort, kid. Effort. You are Maximus's effort. This is Maximus effort.
That
He's
is, I
just,
guess, is the best you can call it.
it is. He's gonna win this, and then it's just brilliant though. It was just one of those things in regards to it. Like it is genuinely like that bit, and then the Deathclaw that's approached, that's starts charging at him, and then the first shot that just takes it out, and we're like, he looks at Thaddeus, who's going, yeah, thanks, and Thaddeus is like, that wasn't me, it was him, and then that scene, I think even you'll agree with me, was beautiful, where it just zooms into the helmet first and starts panning out, and you're like, are they going to do what? Wait, that's an NCR Ranger. Then it's like, bah, it's just zooming out to straight up with the shot, and it's like you just recreated like one of my favorite intros from like a Fallout game, like the actual intro from my favorite Fallout game that got modern Fallout game. You actually recreated the intro.
Mhm.
Like, did you just do this as a love letter to all the Fallout New Vegas fans finally?
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah. To which then you get the flag and the NCR arriving in force, and I'm like, you just full blown like gave us the new California Republic is back, baby.
Hmm.
It's like, oh yeah. Not that the NCR are dealing with the death claws though, it's the best part. They're dealing with the death claws, whereas they're now gonna, at the beginning of the next season, gonna have to defend Freeside against the Legion, and I'm loving the fact that we have the Legion back as well. It's like they are gearing up to season 3 is going to open with basically the battle for Vegas. Let's be honest.
I would
It's
hope so.
it's going to be the battle between the Legion and the NCR, and it's going to be beautiful because honestly, we finally get the battle of the set, like a third battle for Hoover Dam essentially, but this time live action, and I'm like, I like this. Thank you for giving us like, because it is, as we were discussing like last week about this series, we were discussing it the other week about the series. We said it then. This is essentially Bethesda closing up the storyline for New Vegas and all of and the because we said it about New Vegas that if you pay attention when you play New Vegas doesn't just close up its own storyline. It
Hmm.
essentially finishes the NCR storyline from the original, the Khans and the Legion and everyone. It finishes the storylines from the original like Fallout games. It was kind of like a here's a tidy up of all the original Fallout stuff. That's what Fallout New Vegas essentially is for the Fallout,
Hmm.
the modern Fallouts. This is all of our storylines from our games back from Fallout 1 and 2. This is them all closed up, basically. Here's them closed, so you don't have to worry about them anymore. Welcome back. But yeah, the range of it is my favorite. This episode's my favorite bit of episode 7 was the reveal of House being alive still, and the fact that we got Mr. House back. Like, not just like the best, like in my opinion, one of the best characters from New Vegas. But my favorite bit of episode 8 is just straight up the whole recreation of the opening cutscene of New Vegas itself. Just the panning through the ranger's helmet all the way to the front of the gun as it fires and following the
Hmm.
bullet. And I'm like, yeah, this is how you say give a love letter to people who love New Vegas. And then we get Coop finally finding out that his family is not in this management vault, even though we've previously seen, the cryo chambers for them. And then the reveal of the end of Colorado was a good idea. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to Colorado, right where Fallout Tactics ended. Because Fallout Tactics ends in Vault Zero in the Cheyenne Mountains in Colorado, and I'm like, oh, brilliant! I completely had forgotten about that, despite the fact that Tactics being one of my favorite games. I have Tactics installed so I can replay it again because it is a good game.
Yeah, because I remember us talking about it, and you was like, they've been in Colorado, and someone was saying it's about tactics. I was like, I do remember Colorado coming up somewhere, because most not because I remember the game heavily,
I
because
think it's
I
because the way that Tactics starts in Chicago, Illinois. That's why, because it
I mean,
start.
yes, but I
It's,
mean, for me in particular, I do listen to a lot of um the Fallout lore videos. So somewhere along the line, someone had mentioned it, and I was like, that's in my head somewhere. I was like, no, they have been there. I know they've been there somewhere.
yeah. To me, it was probably me thinking it was. Oh, it might have been Fallout, Brotherhood of Steel Tactics, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, the one that I've never played because it never interested me. Because like I just took one look at it when I first saw it in your shop and went, yeah, I'm not playing this game. I don't like the look of this at all. But this was before I got into Fallout because I didn't go back and play Fallout 1 and 2 until after playing Fallout 3. Because my first experience with Fallout, in all honesty, was Fallout 3 after coming off playing Oblivion in the Elder Scrolls series and being like an Elder Scrolls fan, for years.
Yeah,
And playing, what's this? This is just Oblivion, but sci-fi. And then I fell in love with the Fallout franchise and went, this is awesome. And then went back and played the original two games because I like turn-based RPGs and stuff. So I went back and played them and went, these are really fun. Which is why when playing New Vegas and seeing the NCR, I got so happy because I was like, I remember these guys because this was formed in the original games. I remember these and the Khans and everything. I remember them. It's like, this is brilliant. But yeah, episode 8 was gorgeous, wonderful. My favourite thing of episode 8, as I said, is the recreation of New Vegas' introduction. That's my favourite scene.
yeah.
My favourite plot point is where we're going is that they've set up that the Enclave is back. My favourite bad guy in the Fallout universe, like they are the OG bad guys from the original two games. They are the OG. They are the bad guys from Fallout 3, and I kind of miss them in Fallout 4. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm so glad they're back because they're the established villain of the franchise. They are the big bad, and they are really just they're perfect for a villain because their whole shtick is, Wastelanders die. If you're not from the Wasteland, you get shot. If you're from the Wasteland, get
Uh-huh.
shot. We only take Vaultborn usually. Like we're purely no radiation people as far as we can get, and it's gonna be fun to see to see them returned.
Yeah, they were a unique group within that.
And
Yeah, they were quite a fun little thing.
something tells me the
I mean, they
third
kind of had to be
series
like
we're going
that,
to get
but
the super mutants in the series, and they're going to be teamed up with the heroes. Because remember, the super mutant that tried to recruit Coop straight up says, we need you for a war against the Enclave."
I mean, so here's my thing here. I know exactly what you mean, but I I don't think it is they're going to be teaming up with the humans necessarily as a
No.
whole. Humans, yes, but not because I think they're going to be teaming up because of where they ended up. I think they're going to be teaming up with the children of Atom.
Possibly. We'll see if the Children of Atom show up because we haven't seen them yet. They've not shown up.
We haven't, no, and
That's the thing. Another thing.
like they said they're necessarily hiding away, and these are all people that have a good relationship to nuclear waste, for what
Yep.
and radiation, for want of a better term.
Oh yeah, but
Um,
I'm mostly happy is that, let's be honest, we got a super mutant finally, played by the wonderful Ron Perlman.
yes,
And we got a first generation super mutant as well, which makes it even better because you know why I love the first generation super mutants, because they're not idiots. They're the smart super mutants. because they're the ones that masterbred directly,
Yep.
which makes me really happy that we got a first generation super mutant, not a second generation.
Well, this is the thing. So one of the actual top points for the next season as well is the fact that the Volts 31, 32 and 33 have FEV tanks in them,
Mm-hmm.
ready to turn the people. So that means we could actually be seeing a whole Volt of technically of first generation
Mm-hmm.
super mutants being made, because this would be unmodified
Phase
FEV.
2. Initiate phase 2.
Yeah.
Well, I have a feeling once you get super mutants, we'll get probably centaurs, all sorts of shit happening to the Vault.
I think see. This is the thing. I think that what's going to happen is the children of Atom are going to unleash something
Mm-hmm.
that's going to cause a problem, and then the wasteland is now going to be more highly affected by these creatures, because as they said, they've been wiped out, as it's sort of hinted towards at least. Those sort of creatures have all been wiped out to most extent. That's why we're not seeing them.
Yeah. Where they said the super mutants being wiped out, that's what he even said. It is a straight up. It is like this series was beautiful. Like every episode had me hooked, wanting the next episode. Like
Yes.
because they always end on a cliffhanger, and it was brilliant. And it's like the ghoul being shot out the window. That was a brilliant cliffhanger. Bang. Okie dokie. Just shoots him through the window. Just like I love that bit. Just sort of punches him through the window. What? Oh, well, you mean Thaddeus becoming a centaur? That's what's happening to him. He's turning into a centaur. He's going to be a horrible singing mutant.
That's what some people think. I think he's turning it. I think he's going to be turning into something more like Harold.
You think it's going to be Harold, but he needs a tree to start growing on him for him to become Harold.
No, I think he's going to be a mutant like Harold. Bob is the tree. Harold was the person.
Oh yes, Bob's the tree.
I think he's going to be. Yeah, I think he's going to become something similar.
He's going to become the new Bob, because Bob died in the end of Fallout 3.
We don't know.
Well, we know that Harold and Bob are stuck. Harold is stuck in a place because Bob decided to lay down roots. Remember?
Yeah.
So,
like I say, yeah.
Because
Fallout
Fallout 4 and New Vegas, centaurs are super mutant made. The FEV creatures. In New Vegas, the centaurs are made of one person, whereas in Fallout 3, the centaurs are made of multiple people, same as. So, it's. And Thaddeus was clearly injected with the FEV, not with anything else. It's very obvious.
He was injected with something.
It's very clearly the FEV virus, the forced evolutionary virus at this point, because it's starting to be, because he's got mouths growing on him and his arm just fell off. Could have happened to a nicer guy. Turns into a face. Probably some horrific mutant. He's not a ghoul. That's for definite. Thaddeus is not a ghoul.
Yeah, that's the one thing we know he's not, is a ghoul.
I also love the fact that the Thaddeus. I love that whenever he talks to the ghoul, like, this is one of ghoul things, right? That's just the way that the ghoul gives him that face.
Yeah, no.
No, that's not a ghoul
Very
thing.
much no.
It's like New Vegas. New Vegas is my favorite Fallout game. The fact that we got so many good references, we know that season 3 is gonna have to open with Lucy and Maximus' story being them leading the defensive free side against the Legion with the NCR.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling that what's going to happen is that it's not just going to be that. I think that the free side thing will be the beginning of the new NCR, if you know what I mean. Like, we've lost the NCR twice, and then they're now back in like a, again. And this whole series has kind of been hinting at the NCR being reborn again. And I have a feeling that's what Maximus' story is going to become, if you know what I mean, for season 3. Is finally finding a place to be a hero where people actually, want them around, and rebuilding the NCR to replace the Brotherhood. Because the Brotherhood are at civil war. They're in a full-blown civil war, and Quintus the Unifier is dead. It is now Quintus the Destroyer. So he's going to destroy the Brotherhood now instead of unifying the Brotherhood. by building Liberty Prime Alpha. It's like, oh fuck. Here's which means we're gonna get two Liberty Primes fighting each other. By the way,
Well, 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 that depends because they would technically have to go over to Boston because the one from um, DC was shipped over to Boston to be rebuilt into the Liberty Prime they had there.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, but yeah, the Liberty Prime from Boston for the Commonwealth Brotherhood that they're just abominations. I absolutely love that. I can't. What is his name? The one that plays Xander. I just love him whenever he shows up in any film or anything.
yeah, I've just watched this stand up.
He's just brilliant. I love him. I can't remember his name. That's the only problem. I don't remember the.
Minjani, something Minjani.
Yeah, I love the actor. Like I don't know his name, unfortunately.
I think he's funny. One of my so many years ago when he first did started doing Eternals and he got jacked for
Kumail
shit.
Nanjiani. That's it. Because
Yeah,
it's Eternals where I remember him mostly from, and I just like I love you.
yeah, and he got jacked up, and he was like the worst part about this is that my wife said if ever I go back to how I used to look, she's going to leave me because he was a very thin. He was a very thin, sort of weedy guy, and then he got jacked to fuck. But in his most recent uh, stand up, he's joking about the fact that people started to slag him off so badly about how he looked because he got jacked. He was like, I'm the first person in the world who got healthy, got fit, got muscles, and everyone in the world said you look like a freak. So now I went and went, my favourite thing is cake. I love cake. I love carbs. I love sweets. When I do not eat them, I do not eat them out of spite, so I can look this good and say "fuck you" to you.
Yeah, he's such a good actor. I love him because he's just like because him playing Kingo is hilarious. Kingo, stop it.
When thing is, he was very good. There is so many there is so many good little bits in that film, and he was always good at it. But he's always played his character fabulously.
Hmm. He was in the X Files. Didn't even know that.
Not as much.
No, he was in an episode. He's a one-off thing in an
Yeah,
episode in the 10th season of
yeah.
X Files. I didn't even realize he was in it. But yeah, I loved him when he showed up because it's just like, hey, it's Kingo. That was my exact response. It's Kingo.
Well, season 10, isn't that the season with Robert Patrick, aka
The
the
Terminator.
Liquid Terminator?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
I
Terminator.
think that's season 10.
Well, it's Mulder. The episode's called Mulder and Scully meet the Were Monster.
Okay, so it might have been a season, or maybe season after,
A season. It's a
or
season. I
even
think it's a
before.
season after Mulder returns. When Mulder returns to the show.
Okay. I know we're getting well off track here, but I've got to say,
What?
when they refreshed it with the two new actors as the main role in um, X Files,
Hmm.
I really fucking enjoyed it. I when that came out on DVD, I hadn't bought any of the other DVD series, but
So,
X
um,
Files. I actually went out
basically,
and bought that. I loved it.
season 8 is when Robert Patrick takes over. It's when Mulder leaves. Season 8 and 9.
Yeah,
Then they did the
yeah,
movie I Want to Believe, which brought back David Duchovny. Then season 10
yeah,
brought him back permanently. Season
yeah.
10 and 11 were the last two seasons of that, where they brought because they
But
realised this show doesn't work without him and without those two
um,
together. It just
I've got
doesn't.
to say, no, it was really. I mean, people need to give that do need to give that season another run. It was actually done incredibly well, um, and it was quite interesting how the people played off each other in the skepticism side of it as well. Uh, yeah, I liked it. They had a couple of really good episodes in that run. But talking about the movie, I Want to Believe, um, which was the second of the films, um, they had to, for many reasons. So the first film was actually in the timeline of the series. They actually made the film to be released
Hmm.
and hopefully out on cassette tape between two seasons, and
Five
that
and
failed
six.
miserably. Yeah, that failed miserably.
Hmm.
realizing many fans hadn't actually got to see the film yet because the film hadn't been released in all territories by the time the next season had come out.
Hmm.
And people were confused, so they had to make an episode explaining the film. I mean, that was bad. But anyway, they made I Want to Believe. And people forget that this is a rare movie outing for Billy Connolly in which he plays a psychic paedophile.
Of all the things you can
I mean,
play when you decide to play in a movie, Billy.
no, but I think like, people don't get. So most people would run away from a role like that, or at least ask for some changes, right?
Hmm.
But not only did Billy Connolly go, "Fuck it, it's a role." Who the fuck at X Files knocked on Billy Connolly's door?
Oh, I just found out the guy that directed the X-Files movie directed one of my
Yep.
favourite films that came out in 2002.
I can't remember who the director was. Who was it?
Rob Bowman.
Really?
Yeah, he directed the only 4 films ever directed are Airborne, The X-Files, Elektra, and Reign of Fire.
I loved Rain of Fire.
I love Reign of Fire. It's such an underrated movie in my opinion.
It
That's all the
is.
Liberty Prime
It's
designs look the same, Cat. They all 3 of them look the same. They're just the same model, but one is this is the alpha variant of Liberty Prime. AK, this is probably the control Liberty Prime, the one that's designed to control the others. But just remember, democracy isn't an option.
But here's a funny thing about people forget
What?
that one of the biggest stars at the time in this for the film, like someone that people globally would recognize, other than Matthew McConaughey, was Alexander Siddig, because he was quite popular in Star Trek as Bashir. But he was also playing alongside lesser known people at the time, like Gerard Butler and Christian Bale.
Fucking Gerard Butler and Christian Bale.
I mean, well, wasn't the story plot point, if I remember correctly, that Christian Bale as a kid accidentally opened up a dragon egg in the London Museum that caused the dragon apocalypse?
Well, yeah, Liberty Prime dies in. I forgot he dies in Broken Steel, doesn't he? In the DLC.
Right, no, so Liberty Prime gets destroyed. He gets destroyed up. And then in Fallout 4,
Yeah, they
you
build
find out
Liberty Prime 2.
you find out that they actually took a load of vertibirds and one of the I can't remember what their big blimps are called, but they're one, and they took the wreckage of the original Liberty Prime from 3 and rebuilt it. So what you see in Fallout 4 is basically the original Liberty Prime with some fixings.
Yeah. It's also the torso's probably the torso's also probably different in Fallout 4 because of the engine upgrade, and they just redesigned it like they did with Deathclaws. They look slightly different in Fallout 3 than do in Fallout New Vegas to then Fallout 4. They kept like improving the design. Democracy.
Well, yeah, you've also got to remember between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, they got a hell of a lot better at the polygons have gone down considerably and things like that. Everything looks smoother. There's a lot better texture in.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. The
Process,
Deathclaws are.
everything just So what was originally very square and was intended to be round is now round. So things like that. Great example. Lara Croft's boobs. At one point they were triangles, and now they're boobs.
And people call that a loss. That it's not just that
I agree. They should have been complete triangles all the way up till now. There should be no reason why they shouldn't be like the Madonna music video at all.
I was more about the fact that they were, you know, no longer Mahahusive Bahongas.
Oh yeah, people are weird, but other than that,
They always try to say it's like the downfall of gaming, and I'm sat there going, but these games still keep selling. And like, there's two new Tomb Raider games coming out very soon, and my exact response
here's
to
my
that is
thing.
I'm buying both of
Here's
those the minute they come out.
my response to that was originally when people first started saying shit like that, especially was in the remakes,
Hmm.
was she's a teenage girl in these. She was an adult woman in the others. So creepy one and two development.
Exactly.
I mean, calm the fuck down. Read the room, read the story. At the moment, you're talking about the breast size of a 16-year-old girl in a jungle. You're kind of a bit strange.
I don't get why people complain about the animated series of it, because the animated series, the one that Netflix did, with
Yeah.
why do I always forget a name?
I remember it existed. I watched a bit of it, didn't really care for it.
What's the name? Peggy Car- the one who plays Peggy Carter. I forgot her fucking name again.
Yeah, I know you mean. I want to say Sarah, but it's not.
No, but it's a
You,
shame.
you know you can.
It got cancelled in its second. It's got cancelled after its second season, which pisses me the hell off. By the way,
British, yes.
she's British.
British to many things. Lara Croft is British and so is Peggy Carter, yes.
Yes, most British of heroes. She goes in and raids tombs for a living. Collects artifacts. Lara, your British is
We
showing.
well what now. She is I would say Lara Croft is very much on the same par as Indiana Jones. Most of her stuff got back to where it was meant to go, like a museum, whereas the people she was up against were usually selling it off to the black market or trying to summon a demon. Um,
Haley
but
Atwell.
I think Hayley Atwell,
Yeah,
that's the one.
Miss Peggy Carter or Captain Britain.
You're right. British representation. There should be British representation everywhere. I think every Marvel film should have a Captain Britain in it. Um, at least one of the Braddock
The
family
the
in
next person to
every
play
Marvel film.
Lara Croft is Sophie Turner.
I don't care.
So the
Uh,
thing, the legend, so Tomb Raider Legend of Lara Croft, right? It's a series set after Shadow of the Tomb Raider, like the game, the prequel
yeah,
trilogy. Set the final season. The bit that annoys me, the fact that we're not getting a third season, is that the end of the second season, because they didn't realize they were going to get cancelled, obviously, or they were setting up so that in case it was popular enough that Netflix would give them another season,
yeah.
right? It basically sets up the beginning, the prequel to Tomb Raider One, like
Oh,
straight
okay.
up sets up. This is the point where she's going to meet Natla and the whole, the beginning of the first game's storyline. I can't wait for the game that's coming out later this year, which is it literally is just Legacy of Atlantis, and all it is it's going to be the Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is the new Tomb Raider game.
Yeah.
Like continuing the story. But Legacy of Atlantis is just the story of the first of Tomb Raider Legends, Tomb Raider Anniversary, and I believe Tomb Raider Underworld all combined. Which I really hope, right? They keep one scene from Tomb Raider Underworld, right? Which is the scene where Lara's doppelganger basically, kills Trip in it, because and where Lara's basically just consigns herself to I need to go find Thor's belt to find Thor's hammer,
Yeah.
and it's because that line, in my opinion, that bit is the perfect epitome of Lara's character of just is just the epitome of I need Thor's belt to find Thor's hammer, and I need Thor's hammer to kill a god. To the point where she consigns, "You just killed my best friend. I'm going to kick the shit out of you, Natla, and murder you. You do not come back from this. This time you
Yeah.
die." And it's straight up. I'm like, I am so for this, because it was like that was the scene that went, "Yep, she's pissed. You're dead." Yeah.
The only thing I care about, as long as they show a fight of a giant dinosaur, we're good. Um,
Oh, that you do in the series, in the end of the
yeah,
final episode of the fucking
I know
season.
I know it happened. I saw the clips. I
I was
did.
so happy when we
Yeah.
saw that when the T Rex came out, and I'm like, holy shit, the T Rex. I was like, yes. But yeah, Lex Atlantis makes me excited because we're going to get to go through the Lost City again, Peru, um, and we're hunting for the Scion again. But I'm wondering if it's going to be the whole story, if it's just the first game remastered again, if you know what I mean. And I'm hoping it's all three of them. Because in the unpatched ending of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the original one when it came out in
Yeah.
2018, it actually has Lara, like the final scene is Lara in Peru at the door, to where Tomb Raider 1 starts. The door
Yeah.
opens. It's like,
I mean, as a young gamer, when you got your first PlayStation One, that was a key game to have. That was part of your arsenal. You if you had a game collection, you had to have Tomb Raider.
oh yeah.
Um,
Well, I had to in
I
that
think
in
it got to pass. I think for me at least, when I'm not a PlayStation person. I have an Xbox. My brother had PlayStation. When the Uncharted games came out, and I sat there and played Uncharted One and Uncharted Two, just literally just cannoned those games. Um, that for me was the big like Lara. The Tomb Raider games have not only got a rival, they've got a superior, and none of the games really, and none of the storytelling ever really held up for me. I'll pass that to be weird, to be fair. But I do like it when she's killing giant dinosaurs.
Dad does appear in almost every fucking game, and I love it.
I still remember playing the first one, and like you've got these flares, and you've got these guns, and is it a bear or a wolf you have to fight when you drop down?
The
And
very first
I
fight in the
just like,
game, the first Tomb Raider, is a bunch of wolves. I may or
yeah,
may
that's
not
it. So
have Tomb Raider 1 memorized to the point of I can play the game and I can do every single
and
puzzle so
I
badly
just
that
remember,
I'm just like, I just do everything and I'm like, automatically now. And I'm like, I really should not be playing this game anymore.
yeah, well, I just remember me and my brother like playing that for the first time, going into this room, getting killed by the wolves a few times, then killing the wolves, then standing in this room. It's like, what do we do? I was like, I'll throw down flares, I guess. Maybe we'll see something. We threw down the flares, they did nothing. You're like, go back to playing pulse challenge. Yeah, go back to play pulse challenge. But yeah, no, I in the end we got through it, like, but it was. I just remember that first time I was playing it was like just stuck in a brown room, players on the floor doing nothing. It was like,
But yeah. Well, Halo coming to PlayStation, our thoughts. My thoughts on that is that it's about damn time that people stopped. That the exclusives aren't as profitable anymore because it costs.
here's the thing. This is a very very good thing, and this is something that for many years
Mm-hmm.
the top selling company has always been the one that has refused to do anything about crossplay between the two. And thanks to things like Rocket League and Fallout, so Fortnite, just basically all epic stuff. So basically, look, we can flip the switch whenever we want.
Yeah.
So it should be a thing, and they've accidentally done it more than accidentally in quotation marks. Accidentally flipped the switch more than once. But what is going to be a good thing is now that one company's just gone, instead of just going in for an agreement, gone fuck it, look, here you go, we're going to start. Microsoft gone, look, we're going to start getting our stuff out to another console. This is going to make their company more valuable,
Mm-hmm.
and it starts to devalue the companies that don't do it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's what is it?
uh,
Sony's actually buckering on it and actually willing to has given Helldivers no longer being like Sony owned exclusive. They've given it to the Xbox, and
here's one that should never have been an exclusive, and this one really does annoy me, and not just because I want to play it, because I've played it and I think it's great, and like not well enough for me to go get the console, but I think the Spider-Man game was always meant to be multi-platform in its original in currency, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Sony bought the company out,
mm-hmm.
and then did a sly thing with their licensing to say it's now exclusively for us, no one else can have it.
Yeah, and then they put it on PC. I haven't bought the games, But that's because I will admit this. The reason I don't buy a lot of Sony games on PC is um,
We'll get
gen-
to Wonder Woman in a second.
yeah, we'll get to Wonder Woman in a second. But in regards to it, the reason I don't buy a lot of Sony games on PC, even though they release their games on PC now, is not because they're unoptimized, because usually they're actually quite well optimized and stuff. Like I've got both
Mhm.
the Horizon games. The issue is whenever they put them on sale, like Sony never puts their games on like good sales, yet Microsoft constantly does with their stuff that Microsoft's put on
Yeah.
Steam and stuff. And I'm like, why am I going to spend 40 or 50 quid on this game that I don't know if I'm going to like it? Because as much as I love Spider-Man, and I will, Spider-Man games are probably, I know I'll play Spider-Man, the Miles Morales one, and Spider-Man 2, and I'll enjoy all three of them. But I can't justify like spending 120 quid to get all three
Yeah.
games. It's like,
Yeah. It's ridiculous, and like I say, it should be something that should or originally was meant to be intended for everyone, and then got stuck up later on due to purchasing. Um, and yeah, that's something that should be in everyone's universe, to be honest.
yeah, sorry. No, no, sorry, it's more than 100 quid, by the way, because Spider-Man 1 remastered, yeah, the first one,
It's £60.
it's 50 quid.
Or is it 50? I thought it was 60.
It's
Sorry.
50 quid. Then Miles Morales is 40, so that's what? That's 100 straight off the bat.
90.
Yeah? And
It's
then,
90, yeah.
yeah, and then, yeah, 50, yeah, it's 90. And then 50 quid again for Marvel Spider-Man 2 is 130 quid, basically, for three games. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't have like I could buy them like over the course of time, like buy one a month,
Yeah.
play through it. But I'm sat there going, yeah, but at the same point, I'm still then spending 150 or 30 quid for three
I
games
mean,
that
here's the
there's the
thing.
potential I could
If
play
you're,
that first one and I just don't like the game. That's the
yeah,
problem. Like I could just it'd be like I could play it and then probably like actually the gameplay in this is not fun to me and I don't want to play it because
here's
that's
the thing. In realistic terms, though, you wouldn't buy though all the games in one
no,
go.
you wouldn't.
Normally, you would buy like you'd be buying one game, and then a few years later, the sequel comes out. In this case, you're in the luxury of having two games, like the whole series there available with a shit ton years worth of reviews saying it's good or it's not good.
Hmm.
So you're getting value for money when you buy it. But like you say, that kind of doesn't matter when it comes down to the point that these are still old games
Yeah.
that you're selling at full price, which you would never be able to do with a disc operated system. Like I can go down to a game and buy Spider-Man 1 for quite cheap, but
Yeah.
I still have to buy the fucking PlayStation to play it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But anyway,
It's that's the problem with it. It's like you still have to buy a PlayStation to play it, but like in the case of this, it's I've got to thingy it. I'm having to do this whole shenanigan stuff of
well, that's the thing. I guess you can't buy a disc anymore.
no. I actually buy. I will admit this. I buy old PC games on a disc.
If you can, yeah, I
I don't
used to when I was still interested.
not for the shit, but it's not. It's specifically it's games that are old games that I genuinely loved from my past. Like I
Uh-huh.
have next to me Magic the Gathering Battlegrounds. Old game, not the best game. It's an old. It's like a fighting game, basically. You play Magic the Gathering fighting game where you play as a summoner and you summon, minions against each other. Like it's old school fighting
Yeah,
game that you have to, finish to unlock the other characters. Like that's how old it is. It's pre DLC. Right? You have to finish like certain stuff. But it's like it's just I don't have it because it's a fun game. I have Battle of Middle Earth 2 and Battle of Middle Earth 2's Rise of the Witch King on disc still behind me, unopened because I refused because I just buy old games. I have a disc drive that is not um it's not what you call it a permanent one. It's a disc drive that I attach that I can plug in and
yeah,
unplug. It's an external one.
external, yeah.
But yeah, in terms of everything in regards to it, this is one of those things of I buy old games for those reasons. I like owning old physical PC games. I don't do it with console games. My console games, we have the only console we have doesn't have a disc drive. Um, but yeah, we don't have really much to actually say about Absolute and DCKO because you've read it mostly. I haven't read any of the most of it. It's mostly just the design stuff and some of the silly shenanigans that have happened in this.
I mean,
Because
yes. I mean, I have been. I mean, I'm. You're reading the absolute stuff to some extent.
yeah,
I'm reading everything else around it. Um.
because I love the designs for all the Absolute characters. I also love
Oh,
that
yeah.
as we pointed out earlier, is that no matter what Darkseid tries to make Superman's life fucking hell, to make Kal-El basically like trying to turn him, basically give him every opportunity and every reason to become a bad guy, he just keeps becoming more and more of the Man of Steel and a good guy, and it's kind of hilarious.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, so Superman's origins in this, or Kal-El's origins in this, is quite dark. Well, say dark. They're just so because this is an apocalypse. Sorry, I keep calling him apocalypse. This is a dark side infused universe, a mega energy infused universe created solely by Darkseid in the same
Mm-hmm.
way Martian Manhunter manipulated the Prime Universe for his own
Do you
shenanigans.
mean Doctor Manhattan?
Yes, Doc Man. What do I say?
You said Martian Manhunt.
Martian Manhunter, Doctor Manhattan, very very similar hair. Anyway, so
You don't have any hair.
anyway, so yeah, so that's what the absolute universe is, and they're meant to be tortured to get to the point where they are. You know, Darkseid is all about um, survival of the fittest, the most powerful will win. So in this universe, Kal-El grew up a little bit. He's an 8 year old. I think he's about 8 years old, and hanging out with his parents when um, Krypton destroys itself. Um,
Yeah.
but they're not a high class family anymore. They are the lowest family. They
Mm-hmm.
are workers. They do mundane tasks. They're not high. In fact, the shield on Superman's chest isn't for a logo for the House of L. It is a symbol for the lowest working class or caste in Kryptonian society. Um, and yeah, Krypton is destroyed. They're sent away.
Mm-hmm.
Bad things happen, but he has memories of his family. He knows what Krypton was like. He has a talking suit that gives him solar energy to charge him up. Um, but the other, so he has all that. He knows all that. He has all these great memories. So he's already in a dark place. But when he gets to Earth, and he crash lands and stuff like that, he makes his way on his own due to a number of things, but
Yeah.
mostly because the Kent farm was destroyed in a storm years ago. There were no Kents to look after young Superman.
Well, doesn't it, it's the
Um,
reason why in this world he's not called Clark Kent. He's just called Kal-El.
yeah, that's it. That's why I stopped myself from saying it's Superman's origins because he's also not really a Superman just yet.
No.
He is Cal or the hooded whisperer, this whispering guy that keeps turning up at diamond mines and shit,
Mm-hmm.
helping the poor people out. Uh,
It's inadvertently I've realised because he made them the lowest class of Kryptonians and made them him grow up with that. He's inadvertently given him a similar origin to his Earth Prime origin, just with
Pretty much.
instead of the Kents being the one to instill being a good person and everything into him, it's his own parents by being
Yeah.
the workers. It's like
In particular, I mean, weird enough, in particular, his uncle in this. Like one of the first scenes you get of Krypton itself is his mother working on his uncle's farm to get the harvester working because they're waiting for the rain drones to rain on the harvest. So he comes from farming stock in this, you know.
mhm.
They live on a farm. His dad's a geologist. Um,
But yeah,
it's yeah,
it's such a
it
the
is
DC the
very cyclical.
DCKO stuff, as some images you showed me earlier, is we've got Annabelle shows up.
Oh yeah, so this comes into uh
I don't want to spoil my thing. I just thought the cameos bits is the main thing that we're talking about is that
yeah.
and the because I don't want to really we're not going to talk about just plot like not we're not going to talk about the Jay Garrick
No, I'm not going to do
Guy
spoilers.
Gardner
So what's
bits
happened is
stuff.
is to get us to what the KO event is at least. Is in the mainline comic books, Darkseid has disappeared.
Hmm.
And this has caused havoc in for many things. No one knows where he went, but we, if you're a comic book reader, we know he's gone to the Absolute Universe to create the Absolute Universe, and all these characters are now Darkseid inspired in some way.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, so on Earth, to compensate for this, Earth is now has now got the Heart of Apocalypse inside it,
Hmm.
and it is turning her Earth into Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Um, and they've been given one chance to be the ruler of this heart, and it will then do whatever anyone wants. And if they want, they can turn the Earth back to the way it was, or they can turn Earth into a utopia, the best thing that could ever happen from their point of view. Reality will bend to their will.
Hmm.
So, of course, all the heroes ran in. It's like, if this is the way we save Earth, this is the way we save Earth. And all of us at the end of this, we know we are going to be the heroes because we're heroes. We know we can. We'll make sure Earth comes back exactly the way it is. And as they go in, they're all given visions of perfect vision of what the Earth would be if it was their perfect pinnacle. And we get Superman's. It doesn't matter. We won't go too much in. But when they land,
Hmm.
not only are they told this is a fighting competition, and it's you have to, like Darkseid, be his example. You have to be the
The
strongest.
strongest.
So from now, you're going to have to fight everyone in this competition. All the heroes are looking at each other, going, "Ah, fuck." But isn't it lucky that we made sure that no villains could get involved in this, and Superman put all the villains into the Phantom Zone? Yes, lucky. And then the Heart of Apocalypse says, "Ah, but some of them are the strongest possible champions of your planet, and they deserve the ability to be involved."
Whoops, a
So
daisy.
yeah, um, and this is actually, and just to point out how big a
It's
power balance
essentially
we're talking
Mortal
about here,
Kombat. It's essentially
it
DC
is.
Mortal Kombat. That's what it
It
is.
is basically DC Mortal Kombat, but an important event does happen within this. I won't explain where or how, but if you're a Lobo reader, you will know many, many, many years ago, in the early days of Lobo, he made a deal with basically God,
Hmm.
um, because hell didn't want him, heaven didn't want him, so he became immortal due to a deal. There's been a couple of deals over the time, but that was basically the main one. And this event is so big, he gets involved, and in a very interesting way, by saying he no longer wants to do a deal with Lobo, and he'll let the battle commence because technically Lobo would win. He can't die under any circumstances.
Hmm.
And God says, "Yeah, no, he can now. I want to see how this plays out."
Fucking hell, Lobo.
And he's just sitting, and every so often you'll just see him sitting in the background watching on his sofa. It's really weird. Um, but yeah,
But
that side, there are now villains involved. And yes, the big cameo that, and it will connect with the Absolute Universe. But one of the big things that has happened is a multi-reality battle in which other universes have got involved,
yeah,
in which there is a battle between the Joker and Annabelle from the
the
Conjuring series,
yep,
the Star Sapphire, Sabrina the Teenage Witch from the Archie comic,
yeah, the
um,
classic version of her.
yeah, the OG. We've got Wonder Woman fighting
Is it Red
Red
Sonja?
Sonja.
Who
Red
is
Sonja.
which is pretty damn
Now,
awesome.
this is an interesting one because technically, now Red Sonja is an interesting character from the Conan universe,
Yep.
but was in Marvel Comics in the 70s along with Conan. So technically, what we've got right now in
Well,
this as well
do you not remember what
is
the?
a Marvel DC crossover.
Well, yeah, but remember, Jax, what happened last year? They made a bunch of Marvel DC crossover comics last year as well.
Yes, they did.
They
Yeah.
teamed up again and made a bunch of crossovers between the two again. I love the fact that they
This is,
also in that went and reprinted the Amalgam comics as a
yeah.
limited run. Here's the Amalgam back. It's like, thank you for doing this and actually giving us like a load of the old stuff that you did when you teamed up, and like it's like DC and Marvel when finally have just decided we're not going to fight. There's no point. Why should we just work together and just work together again? It's time. It's like, yeah. But in all honesty, in all serialness, yeah, the DCKO stuff, I need to read a bit more of it. The absolute stuff, I just love the designs of all the characters. The Joker's design's terrifying. As the pitch that I've used, Wonder Woman, beautiful design. I love this version of Wonder Woman. She has a sword that would make Guts jealous.
I mean, this is. I mean, yeah. There. I haven't read much of Absolute. Superman. Um, but yeah, the designs are great. They look fantastic for what their oranges are. I mean, in this case, Wonder Woman is literally from hell.
Mm-hmm.
She has dug herself out from Hades, and she's doing her shit now. I think that's Ares' sword, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong.
I need to reread hers. I'll be honest,
Yeah,
but I am going to move on from the DCO because I don't really want to spoil much with this side of things and the whole
but I
absolute
think the
stuff.
big one that will definitely get people reading if they're listening is the fact that you'll finally know who wins a fight between Homelander and Superman, because
Yes,
we get the fight between Homelander and
I
Superman.
still love the fact that they went, yeah, let's get Homelander, just let's settle this once and for all. It's like, yes, Man of Steel versus the whiny baby man. I was
I
actually looking
mean,
for a panel for that panel. By the way, I was tempted to use that instead. just what having just the bit because I found the panel where he punches him in the face. Wearing with the dust with what he's got with his one weapon he's been able to bring with him. Just
yeah,
like ow.
his
Oh dear.
his micro sun knuckle dusters. Yeah,
Yeah, but we were going to move on to the last topic of today, which is Marvel. The reason it's Marvel is because we've had the four teasers of
but for
four
stories,
stories. Sorry.
not teasers, they're stories. And actually, yes, it's very fun if you watch them in order, back to back. Um, the ends and the beginnings of each one answer each other. One's a question, one's an answer.
Hmm.
It's really good.
It is such a good thing. But I think the biggest takeaway of these little Doomsday stories for Avengers Doomsday, I think you'll understand the reason why I picked this particular picture, which is an old picture of someone using, I think, unfortunately using AI to make all of them in these costumes. But
Yeah,
straight, we're getting somewhat of getting this because we've seen it already with the X-Men one, and Scott being in the comic accurate costume finally, and I'm like,
yeah,
we are finally getting the actors that we're getting for the X-Men that are going to show up. We are getting them in their comic accurate costumes, and do you know what I hope that means? That Rebecca Romanji, who is back as Mystique, is in
yeah.
the white dress. I,
That,
I,
it would
I
be
want
good.
the white dress because let's be absolutely honest. Be, I know a lot of people would probably complain because it's not Mystique naked like she was in the OG. But I want the white dress with the outfit. I want her to look like
White dress is iconic.
it's
To be
iconic.
fair,
Give her that. Give her her gun, and it's like, yeah, we have Mystique. You have, if you're going to bring these guys, all these actors back and put them in the actual costumes, you've already shown us Scott Marsden in his costume, and I love the fact that we got that. It was just, and we're getting comic accurate Sentinels. The Sentinels
now
were comic accurate.
here's something. Well, here's something that is interesting because we've had two different weird leaks of
Yeah.
late.
Which are
One being that, one being that apparently the universe we're meant to see the X-Men in, is their utopia. Um, but the story we saw had Sentinels walking around in the background. Um,
mm-hmm.
so those two things don't really mix unless um, it's Doom that brings the Sentinels
Could be.
for whatever reason. The other big leak, and this is why I think it could be something like that, is because Ian McKellen in an interview was being asked about how he feels acting at his age and if he, how long he thinks he can carry on.
Hmm.
And he says, well, actually, it's getting much easier nowadays. In fact, last Tuesday, I destroyed New Jersey. And he went, and to which he then immediately went, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. Um, so,
Last Thursday, I destroyed New Jersey. That's just the most
yeah,
casual thing to say.
yeah.
Ian McKellen.
Now,
I love Ian
now,
McKellen.
so do I.
I
But so
love
here's the
it.
thing that now, what people forget because it's not really been done in the movies is that is something Magneto can do and has done multiple times in the comic book, which is destroy a massive landmass. He is when he wants to be, he is a force of nature,
Well,
a
yeah,
destructive
everyone
nature force.
forgets that Magneto is an Omega level mutant because he doesn't
Yeah,
have a.
he took.
There's a
I mean, he took out a whole city in our
remember he
story.
stopped the Earth's magnetic poles at one point in the comics
Yeah.
because he got so, and that was the bit they took into the X-Men '97 animated show. They took
Mm.
directly from the comics because he does that in the comics for much the same reason of, I'm done with all of you.
Yeah.
This is the
So
end.
my thing is if we're seeing in the story where it's meant to be their utopia at and at the point we see them, Charles uh, Magnus have become, Charles and Eric have become friends. Both their visions have become viable. It's there. Maybe this is the Krakoan era, or maybe it is a later version of it where
Or
they're free to be anywhere. But
or maybe it's an alternate version of a certain storyline that I've been wanting them to do in the comics for fucking ages. Not comics, sorry, doing the films for ages.
but what I'm saying is,
You
is
know
that
which version I'm on about, don't you?
I do.
My favourite comic. That is my de facto favourite X-Men comic, is the House of M, because I love that Magneto getting his actual world where mutants are superior is, yeah, he's a bad guy still and he's done it a bad way, but humans technically aren't being exterminated like the mutants were. They're being allowed to live. They just understand that they're now second class citizens.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
The but this is I think what we're seeing is actually what people have said that they've wanted for a while. This first film might actually be X-Men versus the Avengers, because I can see it being a setup now that actually
the the only thing
Doctor
is
Doom
do you
makes
remember
it
where
look
that
like,
comic ends?
well, that comic ends with them going after in the thing they're going after Rachel Summers, which is, if we think that the child he's screaming about in the story is Rachel Summers, that
Mm-hmm.
weird enough starts linking it in.
It's not just
And
that though.
if
It's not that. It's the other bit of it's the what Scott does to a certain other character, a certain other member, a certain other person.
yes, now,
Scott losing it
well,
and finally going, "I'm done with your way," and just black
I
and killing
don't
Professor
think
X.
we
We
will
won't get
get
that
that
because I
in
think the only
the
way we'll get that storyline is we need to have the X-Men established with whoever's going to be
yes,
the new Scott Summers, because we're going to get new actors for most of the characters in the new
yes.
after Secret Wars, and whoever's the new set of X-Men we're getting, even their storyline growing up as Scott on this, and we get to see all the various shit that happens, and eventually Scott
We
being
need
jaded.
them. We need the mainline audience to understand that actually Charles Xavier is the father figure to Scott Summers. Like he
Yeah,
is, he's not only his teacher, he's that. And Scott will do anything to follow his example in his teachings.
yeah, and it's at that point
And
in that
over that time, he has lost
everyone.
family members, friends, loved ones, like so much gone. And he finally breaks in anger and upset.
Yeah,
Um, and
and
yeah, it
basically,
is a
well, it's
big
also
deal,
at that
but
point
you've got to
Magneto's not
build
even a
up to
bad
that.
guy anymore. Magneto's a good guy at that point. He becomes the new Magneto, basically the new leader of the actual renegade
See,
mutants.
I think this is the thing that kind of really, I think they missed the trick, because many years ago they actually did a whole storyline where uh, um, Apocalypse had actually taken over Scott, and he started to become the new Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought it would have been a great time there to actually have him break back into that power set, not necessarily to become Apocalypse again, but actually he starts to become the stronger, more beat, like more angry, more, and that would have been a great thing for him to, when the new one came, like when old Scott Summers came back, and they did the whole thing of look how far you've come, look
Oh,
how
it was
far
young.
all
It
of
was
you
when
have
they brought
come
young
from.
Scott into it, and it was who basically sees it.
Yeah,
Who's. I love the fact that it's young Scott that breaks old Scott in that bit though, because it
yeah.
is.
I mean, when I said because it is all the young X Men that come back, and it is and they're saying it to all themselves, but in particular, it's Scott to Scott going, look how far you've come. Like I could never see myself doing what you have done. Can you tell me can you tell me the steps that got you here? And it is a great moment. It is a interesting moment because a lot had happened in the comic books over all that time. Um, let me try and explain to me how you got to where you are because you're me and I can't see how this is right. It's great. It's a great story.
Yeah.
Very tricky to do live
But
action.
yeah, but live
That's
action, you
something that
have to
would
have it
take two
established. I
seasons
think
of
the thing is,
TV.
we're going to get a mix of X Men stuff. We're going to get X Men movies. We're going to probably get, I reckon, teams like the New Mutants would work better as a TV show because they're not as to X Men fans, they're a mainline. Like to us, like me and you, they're a mainline
Here's
thing. But I think New Mutants
yes.
would work better
Here's
as a
the
show because that way you can
problem with X
introduce.
Men.
Hmm.
Here's the big problem that, in all honesty, this is the big problem that Disney are going to have with the X Men, and it's one of the reasons why maybe these franchises should be in different places that were willing to work together, is because X Men is as big as the Avengers.
Yeah.
The only thing is the Avengers also incorporate some X Men, but
Yep.
also the X Men incorporate some Avengers. But like the actual base, if you just remove the two, like move X Men from the Avenger base sets, the number of mutants and X Men characters compared to the number of other Marvel characters is
Yeah.
almost on par
Well, yeah,
with
mutants. They're it's
just
just
as many
I don't need a
teams.
reason to give this person powers. They were born a mutant. There you go. They get the powers
No,
because they were
but I'm
born.
not even talking like that. I'm not even talking like literally number for number. There's
Yeah.
just as many X Men and X Men comic book universe characters as there is Marvel characters
The other
outside of
difference
the
between
X
the
Men.
X Men and
Teams.
Avengers,
There's
really.
just as many X Men and mutant teams as there are Avengers teams
Oh yeah.
and other superhero teams like Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah. I
It's
was going to
crazy.
say
They're literally two behemoths. And
yeah.
I don't know how they're going to incorporate all of that because
So
each one, to get to an X Men film or to get to an Avengers film, you really need a setup of other mini films.
the difference though, the other also major difference between the Avengers and the X Men is Avengers. Can have solo films for Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. The different characters part of the Avengers can have solo films because they
Uh,
operate day to day as as a solo hero. You know what I mean as well. The difference between them and the X Men
yeah.
is the X Men don't. They operate as a team exclusively,
Well, no,
basically. There's only a few
well,
exceptions.
no. I mean, that's kind of well, actually not so much.
Because Storm leads
Many of the big
Gold
big
Team usually.
stories. If you look, many of the big team up stories in the X Men, I know, like when I know we say an X Men comic book, but many times you'll then focus on one person until it becomes a group story. In many ways, even
No, but
when
I
you go
mean
to
that more
solo
the
characters.
X Men kind of it falls under an umbrella of we have a comic
Yes,
called X Men, and then it might focus this issue's main focus. This set of issues is main focus is Jean this
yeah.
storyline is
I mean,
this
a
storyline
great
is Storm
example
does
of
something
this.
to ruin Scott Summers' day.
Well, it's a great example of this
Everything
is
is
a storyline we both love, which is Operation Zero Tolerance.
yes, which you thought
In the
was a lot
comic
bigger than it
books,
was in the comics. It really isn't.
well, no, it's not so much that. It's that because of the way it's actually separated out. The actual Operation Zero Tolerance storyline that you actually follow is actually a Bobby Drake Iceman story
Hmm.
with Marrow, which is one of my favorite characters. That's how it really falls through.
Yeah,
Because the X Men are somewhere else completely until doing a different story entirely that is loosely connected to Operation Zero Tolerance, and then come in at the end.
yeah, and it's also
Um,
in Zero Tolerance. Bastion, the guy that we both were like, we were thinking this big hyped up bad guy that was like in um X in the 97's main bad guy. We were thinking this, and then in reality, in the actual comic book for the operation he first appears, he barely does fuck
it,
all, and then just
oh yeah, no, yeah,
disappears.
yeah.
He does fuck
He's
all,
not really a.
disappears.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite funny. I mean, in the comic, he is set up to be the big bad guy. I mean, the big problem is what he can create, which is the human hybrids.
Yeah.
Um, but also one of the things that's forgotten as well at the end of that comic book, because this comic book, that storyline for me more than anything else just gave me three of my favorite characters, two of which did stick around, and one of them had to go back to who they were. Which was we got Marrow with Bobby Drake. I love Marrow, one of the best characters ever created. He's
Yeah.
fantastic in the stories. Literally goes toe to toe with Wolverine in the training session. He's like, she's like, "Have you got a healing factor?" He's like, "Yeah, I've got the best healing factor." She's like, "Great, I don't have to hold my punches," and literally just stabbed him in the stomach. And like, he's like, "You pulled the bone out your arm." It's like, "So you've got a healing factor?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Tink." He's like,
Let's have a proper fight. Everyone else in the
yeah, and then
X-Men, we can't fight like this with Wolverine. Why? Because we don't have healing facters. You two,
yeah,
you
and then
could.
they just
You know what's really weird? Here's a fun thing that I did not that I find hilarious when I look at most Marvel superheroes' powers. It's surprising how many fucking superpowered heroes in Marvel have a fucking healing factor.
yeah.
Like, it's like their most
And
common
then
superpower in the Marvel universe is this guy, because even Spider-Man has a healing factor, just not as powerful as Wolverine's, and it's hilarious.
yeah, so I'm I want to say I'm remembering correctly, but could be wrong. I know at one stage, all of them had their suits were super strong, and actually had an inbuilt medical system, thanks to um, Reed Richards, who helped design these things in their suits. That's because they had them as well, so they would heal faster because of the suits.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do believe at some point during the one
Probably one
of
of the
the
reboots of the MC of the Marvel universe.
no, it was one of the legacy. It's during one of the legacy virus outbreaks, I believe, where everyone had to be inoculated against what was going on because of even in case of future mutants. Part of the mix is Wolverine's DNA. So basically, a lot of heroes had then de facto got a an advanced healing. If I'm remembering one random story correctly,
Yeah, it's Marvel
where
has
they
this lovely
explain some
habit
shit.
of everyone has a healing factor. I understand why
At
a
the
lot,
moment,
like a lot of superheroes have it that have superpowers. Probably mostly because it means they don't have to spend weeks in a hospital, and Marvel doesn't have to deal with the consequences.
at
Because
the end of the day, their healing factor is always as powerful as the writer needs it to be in the
yes,
story.
such as Wolverine regenerating from a drop of blood.
Yeah, or
That
but
one
in the
is still
same
the
time,
bullshit incident.
during nearly half of the Matropole storylines in the Wolverine solo comic, he literally had one eye because he cut it out himself, and it weren't growing back properly.
Because he
I
was
mean, so that's why it was called
because
Patch. And then
because
it does grow back, and you find out it's a fake patch, but it's like ridiculous.
he didn't grow back because I was willing it not to because I'm so badass. I need one eye. Just sounds
I
about a
really
Logan
should go
thing.
back to
It
that
does sound like a
storyline.
Logan thing. Let's be honest.
It was if you have never read the Wolverine solo stuff, the original stuff by Chris Claremont, it is fantastic because it does because it's not what you expect. It's not him in his costume like going around fighting mutants everywhere. He gets tossed off of a boat into the Asian Ocean, fights some sharks, tries to get to Lando Luckman and Lake for help, but their business has been blown to pieces. So he gets himself a disguise, which is an eye patch because his eyes fucked up, and a white suit. Becomes a bouncer at a nightclub next to a guy called Mister Fix It.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yay!
That is the nightclub that in Matchapur, where it's and for a lot of it, the team up is Wolverine and the Hulk as Patch and Mister Fix It, the two doormen at a fucking gangster nightclub. It, it's fun as fuck. You can't argue with shit like that.
No, Mr. Fix is the Hulk's best persona. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
absolutely honest. He's the best persona. But also, Wolverine is the bestest boy.
He is. He is.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Wolverine. As much as I complain about the Bryan Singer X-Men movies making Logan the main character, and the reason I get annoyed at it is because it wasn't so much as making, because, like, yes, he is a main character of the X-Men. It was more that they made him the main character to the detriment of every other actor in those films.
They did. That was the problem. But the
And
other
it's like
problem was
I,
is
I
that
I get that Wolverine is popular, and I completely know that Wolverine is a popular member of the X-Men. He is like one of the most popular members. But I'm sorry, but you do not
he-
do what you did in X-Men Last Stand and kill off Scott motherfucking Summers at the
here's
start
the
of your
thing.
movie.
Here's the thing about all of it with all of the actors. A lot of the actors like who play Scott Summers and
James Marsden, Donut
James
Lord.
Marsden over the years have realised how big those films were and how kind of important to um, comic book comic bookdom
Mm-hmm.
fandom those were. Um, but were always kind of mildly dismissive of it as just being one of those kind of films that they did, action film, ha. Whereas Hugh Jackman from day one has always talked to. Well, one of the first stories I remember him talking about very early on in this was him talking about a guy that came up to him and was like, "You're Wolverine." He was like, "How tall are you?" And he was like, "And you're meant to be Canadian." And he was like, That's when I realised that people were going to be big into this, and I needed to know this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's always seemed to me like he's into it.
Oh yeah, he did. Like,
Um,
that's why I like Hugh Jackman, because he genuinely
yeah,
got into the character, and it's like
and
it is a thing of
not so much that as an actor, not only getting into it, but as an actor, he embodies the
Logan.
characteristics of character
Yeah.
in a way that gives a representation that is different from everything else. But when you look at it, when you look at the outline of it, like you would with
Mm-hmm.
any character, you go, "That is that character."
Yeah.
I can pick that character out of a list. Like every time I see, if I see it in a comic book, slightly redesigned, I know that that's that. A different
Yeah.
artist has come along and redone it,
Just
and
remember.
that's what he's done perfectly.
I just remember the joke from Deadpool 2. What kind of who the hell gives Lucas the super? Probably some guy who can't draw feet, and I'm just like, I just remember the fact that was a dig at the original artist who created Domino, because he can't
Yeah.
draw feet, and then he just leaned into it and went, "I'm gonna do that. Fine, I can't draw feet. Everyone gets the same feet as Domino whenever I draw a comic now. Fuck all of you." And then he drew the actual most detailed foot you could fucking see because
Oh
to
yeah,
prove a
he's not a
point.
very nice person.
He's a,
Sometimes, apparently.
sometimes, yeah.
But anyway,
But it
on
was
that
funny. It
note,
was the
I
fact
think
that that was a running joke. Became the running joke about Domino. The guy who invented
yes,
Domino
no,
can't draw feet.
yeah. Well, so Rob Liefeld not only did I mean, he's famously the Deadpool creator, but like he was Rockstar. It's easy to forget that he was literally at one point um, Stan Lee's golden boy. Um, he could do no wrong. He could do whatever he wanted. He was a rock star at Marvel. So everyone can take the mick as much as they like, but he was it.
Yeah, but in all honesty, Domino is an awesome character. Domino is an awesome character. All of like Deadpool's an awesome character, but yeah, this image that we've used for this segment. Yeah, to be fair, we know we're not getting Famke back, and we know we're unfortunately not getting Anna Paquin back. But after watching the Rogue Cut version of X-Men: Days of Future Past, uh, of finally watching the
Yeah,
Rogue Cut, I fully support if we had Anna Paquin back as Rogue, because I would love to just see her, because she would pull it off this time. Because she
as
would,
Rogue, yeah, would do it perfectly.
and Famke, I actually just think Famke was brilliant as Jean Grey. She was better than, is it Sophie Turner that played her in
Yeah,
the younger one?
I kind
Like,
of like Sophie Turner's run. To be fair,
I don't get me wrong, I love Sophie Turner's run. Sophie Turner was the better Dark Phoenix, and anyone who, because I'm sorry, but we now know the real reason why the ending for that get film was so shit was because they didn't want to make the ending the same, because the ending originally was meant to be a big space battle, in space.
Mhm.
And then Captain Marvel came out, and they went, "We don't want to be seen as we're copying Marvel." I'm like, do it, because you could just establish them that they're the Tals that they're the Shi'ar, and then you can
Yeah,
establish the whole Charles and Lilandra, and you could have set up a sequel. And if you'd have done this, you'd have probably got people to actually enjoy, to actually want your film, if you know what I mean.
yeah. It was a shame. So much of a shame.
Like, you would have gotten more people to watch the film, and you would have probably gotten people to really want another X-Men movie after this. Because I would have loved to see the Telstar and get to see Lilandra and Charles. Because that's like a main thing from the comics. That is like a...
It is. I think though the only problem with that is that it is such an obscure thing to the common people.
Oh, I know, but it's
It's
more that they could establish a bit more of the, like, you know, they could have run with all the stuff from the X-Men comic side of stuff, like a lot more, like, introduce the Brood as a bad guy for a film, and made like a sort of
yeah.
more horror-ish X-Men movie with the Brood, and that would have been a really good way
That
of it.
I
Like,
would love a
we
horror movie
both
like
watched New Mutants. I genuinely enjoy the film because I think every single actor and actress in that movie, in my opinion,
I
we
do not
disagree,
think the actors did. No,
but
some I didn't. There was one thing I didn't like, but for the most part, I don't think the actors did a bad job in that film.
no, the actors
So
did
much of that
the
was
actors
down
did
to
well in that
bad
film.
writing.
So much that I want Anna. I will die on this hill that I want Anna Taylor Joy back as Magic because she played Magic. She was just yeah,
Very good. Yeah.
she was so good as Magic, especially like even though it's a cheesy line of just, don't you know, I'm Magic too. So when she finally, you just see the arms form with the sword with the sword, and
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you. You just made Magic. You gave me one of my favorite little X-Men characters,
Yeah.
the sister of Colossus. You gave us her an actual live action, and you did her well, and that's what I like. You gave us most of these characters, these New Mutant characters, well, including our lovely Sunspot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I completely forgot it was Sunspot in that movie, and then I remembered it after watching X-Men '97 again and going, "Fuck's
Oh
sake."
yeah.
Fuck's
Wow.
sake! I've already seen you in live action, and now I've got you in the. I've now got you in the series, in the animated series. I also like that we got Jubilee was no longer the. Well, Jubilee was kind of. I like that Jubilee actually got to grow up in that season a bit.
Yeah.
Like, even though she's still the youngest, she got to grow up, and we got the kind of him as the replacement new X-Men character, which I liked because they were like acknowledging that, yeah, it's been years since the original. It's time to, she needs to grow up. Like, in the original actress for Jubilee was in the show. She just didn't play Jubilee, and I actually agree with her reasons for not wanting to play Jubilee again. She was like, no, I want someone who's actually Asian to play the character, just because I think she should.
Yeah. I can play. I can play anyone else.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. On that note, I have to really use the restroom.
Well, the end of this. Well, we're at the end of it anyway. So, as
Yeah.
usual, like, subscribe. If you want to watch the VOD for this, if you want to watch the VOD, it's always on YouTube. We are now going to try a new little thing where I'm going to edit all the descriptions of each one and talk about which topics we talk. Put the topics in the description. So if you want the topics, and I'm going to try and maybe see if I can get good enough to put the timestamps for the topics in there. But we have a new video coming out on Friday. It's a really good one this Friday. We're doing an updated video on a game we played previously. Me and Jax enjoyed it. The dev actually asked us to take another look at it in the comments on that original video. So I thought I would, because it was really fun. And we have a new Alien episode coming out in 2 weeks on the 16th. The 16th is the next Alien episode.
Yeah.
So we will be back in 2 weeks' time for another podcast. I'll be streaming on Sunday as per normal. I'm going to bid adieu, say goodbye.